They drained my pond, claiming mosquito concerns, so I flooded their insurance premiums until they drowned in debt. That pond had been on my property for 60 years. My father dug it himself. Cattails lined the edges, frogs sang every summer evening, herons visited each morning looking for breakfast. Then, Sterling Heights Estates built their luxury subdivision next door. Within a year, residents started complaining about mosquitoes. Rather than investigating actual breeding sites, their HOA board decided my pond was responsible. One morning, I found a pump truck parked on my property and workers draining my pond through a hose running to the storm drain. An HOA representative handed me paperwork claiming emergency vector control authority granted by county health ordinances. I called the county immediately. They had no record of any such authorization. The HOA had fabricated documentation to justify destroying my pond. By afternoon, 60 years of careful ecosystem development lay as mud and dying fish. The springs still trickled in, but without the pond structure, it just seeped into soggy ground. The HOA president, a retired corporate attorney named William, explained they'd done me a favor. Standing water attracts pests. They expected gratitude, not complaints. I spent the next month researching everything about Sterling Heights Estates, their finances, their infrastructure, their insurance arrangements. What I discovered was their Achilles heel. Their flood insurance policy specifically excluded coverage if natural water management features were deliberately altered. The policy language referenced ponds, wetlands, and retention areas within 500 feet of community property. My pond had served as natural flood control for the entire wetshed. Spring runoff collected there instead of flowing downhill toward their streets. Summer storms were absorbed rather than cascading toward their basements. Without my pond, that water had nowhere to go except their direction. I hired an environmental engineer to document the hydrological changes. I filed formal notice with their insurance carrier explaining that the HOA had deliberately destroyed natural flood mitigation infrastructure. The first heavy rain arrived 6 weeks later. Water that would have filled my pond instead flowed directly into Sterling Heights. Streets flooded. 3 basements took water damage. The clubhouse parking lot became a temporary lake. Residents filed claims. The insurance company investigated. When they discovered the HOA had intentionally drained my pond, they invoked the policy exclusion. Claims were denied. The HOA was deemed responsible for all flood-related damages. Lawsuits followed. Homeowners sued the HOA. The HOA sued their contractor. Everyone's premiums skyrocketed. Some residents couldn't obtain flood coverage at any price. Within a year, William resigned in disgrace. The new board came to me begging for help. They offered to restore my pond at their expense, construct proper overflow channels, and pay damages for the fish and wildlife they destroyed. I agreed, but added one condition.